Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock, and we want to begin tonight with a story about cost. The cost of car ownership for Indy restaurants, the cost of data centers for Indy communities, and the cost of crime for Indy kids. Our Alex Almanza was there tonight as city-county councilors weighed those rising price tags. And Alex, let's start with fixing Indianapolis roads and the drivers now left footing more of the bill.
Yeah, and it was certainly a long meeting tonight. We just got out about just less than an hour ago as several proposals were introduced, they were approved, and maybe even some were rejected. Really a mixed bag in terms of what was approved and rejected. But easily the most controversial, like you mentioned, Scott, is the increase in taxes that you'll pay at the BMV. We're talking about a 14-10 vote that passed, in which Marion County residents will pay more to register their vehicles. So anywhere from $100 for a regular passenger vehicle to $240 for larger commercial vehicles. Now, some councilors tonight saying this is one of the toughest votes they've had to make, as the state has essentially told the city that they could unlock $50 million here in infrastructure funding as long as the city comes up with $50 million of their own to match it. Councilor Andy Nielsen, who helped author the proposal, says taking difficult actions now will help repair Indy's crumbling streets.
Constituents that I'm talking to, you know, they're paying for this one way or another, right? And so what we're doing is we are reducing the probability that this is going to be happening in the future, but still lays a kind of a pathway of more work to get done.
And what he's talking about there is Indy residents paying more when it comes to, let's say you're driving down the road and you hit a pothole. Meanwhile, Mayor Joe Hogsett has previously opposed the proposal, saying his administration has been able to leverage funding from the State House without raising taxes. This proposal now heads to Mayor Joe Hogsett's desk, where he can sign it or he can even veto it. But if he does decide to veto, Councilor Andy Nielsen says he's confident that the council has enough votes to override him. Now, another topic of debate tonight, while not debated on, was the introduction of a proposal that would regulate data centers. You've heard it a lot in the news, and especially here in Indianapolis. But Proposal 238, which was introduced, would create a new special use district for data centers. Under this ordinance, new data center projects would have to go through a rezoning process before even moving forward. Some residents have said they want city leaders to consider a moratorium or a pause for at least a year before allowing more projects to move forward. Now, this proposal now heads to the Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee. Now, another proposal that's received a lot of attention but ultimately failed to get enough votes was the amendment to make amendments to the curfew hours for teenagers. Now, we've heard a lot about this. What the proposal was supposed to do was to include 17-year-olds in the ordinance. Many councilors claim that including more teens in the curfew doesn't actually get to the root cause of teen crime. Republican Minority Leader Brian Mowry says that he was disappointed with the result, saying it would have created more accountability at home.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen that gone through. You know, at 17 years old, I had a lot of grand ideas of what I thought was a great idea, and they surely weren't. You know, and that's nothing against striking against anybody. They don't know what they should be doing, but there should be some parental guidance when you're under the age of 18, and the homes need to be held accountable as well.
Finally tonight, a proposal that would have created, or I'm sorry, as it stands, actually, the current city curfew ordinance is in effect. Going now next to the proposal that would have created more accountability for the Office of Public Health and Safety. That was rejected by the council tonight after an audit was published this year, finding widespread problems with how the agency awarded and managed contracts. Councilor Michael Paul Hart introduced this last month. You might remember that. It would have required OPHS to create a centralized contract tracking system, establish an agency monitoring process, and require employees to complete in-person ethics training. Some councilors praise the work OPHS has been doing, while others say there should be more accountability. Now, tonight's council meeting totaled about 2.5 hours, and of course, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with that proposal in terms of wheel tax and vehicle excise surtax. The mayor has 10 days to decide whether to sign it or to veto it. Scott?
Alex, great job breaking down a very busy night at the City County building.